Bulls Nation, today we had a game against the Boston Celtics, and in the end, the Chicago Bulls picked up yet again a very, very vital and important victory for us and for our season. And although we're going to be having a lot of discussions about, of course, the Boston Celtics, some of their players being out, our players being out, all the way around, in the end, this victory will hopefully carry us over into more very, very, very positive results for the Chicago Bulls. And the thing that stands out to me is, of course, the defensive end. So we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls. We're going to be talking about the Boston Celtics. We're going to be talking about the game reaction in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today, we've got a Chicago Bulls versus Boston Celtics game reaction. Now, if you're a Bulls fan, you probably walked into this game expecting the Boston Celtics to run through us, especially when you saw that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum would be playing in today's game. And in the end, those two had terrific games, a triple-double for Jason Tatum. Obviously, Jaylen Brown barely missed any shots in this game, but the Chicago Bulls stuck through their fight and delivered some punches of our own, and in the end, in the second half, the Chicago Bulls reigned supreme and picked up a vital victory for the remainder of the season and, of course, for our opportunity in the play-in tournament. So it's a big win and obviously some big discussions to go on in this game. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below the importance of a victory like this against arguably our best team that we've beaten this season against the Boston Celtics. And let me know in the comments below, of course, now what are our chances in the play-in tournament. Every single game means a little bit more than the last. And this game, of course, is the most important game that we have played all season. And thankfully, we did win this game. We won this game 102-96. In the end, this was a very ugly game for both sides, in my opinion. Of course, in the first half, there were some good shots going in. In the second half, of course, there were more good shots going in. But in the end, defensively, this is where the game was really held for both teams. In the end, the Chicago Bulls is not known as a defensive team, in my eyes. Really, offensively, we didn't add much to the game outside of Nikola Vucevic and Kobe White. Garrett Temple also. Again, there were a few good offensive performances, I'm not going to lie. But in the end, 102 points is not the best scoreline for the Chicago Bulls. Of course, offensively, we could have done a lot better. But defensively, once again, for the second straight game, we played some tremendous defense in this game. And in the end, it was almost like the Uno reverse card. What was happening to the Chicago Bulls all season was happening to the Boston Celtics in today's game. The turnovers for Boston Celtics were absolutely dreadful, and many of them were unforced, very similar to what the Bulls have been experiencing all season. The second chance opportunities, the offensive rebounds, was big for the Chicago Bulls, something that we often let happen to us, the offensive rebounds, the second chance opportunities. And in the end, the Boston Celtics scored a lot of fast break points, something the Bulls used to do a lot. It was a very, very weird game watching this, thinking that the Boston Celtics have really been playing the way that we usually play. And it's not something you usually see from Boston. In the end, I'm not sure what Boston are in terms of turnovers, but I don't classify them as a high turnover team. And in the end, the Chicago Bulls took advantage of this, and the Chicago Bulls played very, very well and played within themselves and played some good defense. There's been a lot of positives going the Chicago Bulls' way. And yes, this is, in my opinion, the biggest win of the season, and this is the best team we've actually beaten all season. We beat the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie. I think this win is much more important and obviously a much better team compared to that Brooklyn Nets team with just Kyrie Irving. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many points we put on the scoreboard. It doesn't matter if a team get blown out or is it a close game. That, to me, doesn't matter. What matters now is that the column for the Chicago Bulls says win, and we continue to push forward into the season. That is the most important thing for me right now. I couldn't care less that we only scored 102 points. I couldn't care less that Boston didn't have a terrific game. At this point in time, this is something we can't focus on. We got a very big win that could continue the progression of our season, try and get us in that play-in tournament, which we should be in, which we should be well into, and we failed to capitalize on opportunities. This was an opportunity today. No Kemba Walker, no Evan Fournier, no Marcus Smart. I'm sure there might have been more players. I think there was another player that also I'm failing to mention that didn't play. And we had to take advantage of that, especially when we don't have Zach LaVine. that was a big game for the Chicago Bulls. And hopefully this is not the last that we see of this terrific defensive display. Hopefully this is not the last that we see in terms of the wins this week and upcoming games. At the end of the day, we must capitalize on every single game that we have that is seen as winnable. And with the injuries with Boston, this was considered a winnable game, and in the end they played like they had a few injuries. They played like, especially on the bench, their bench was not terrific today. Our bench was slightly better than theirs. So in the end, I think this is a well-deserved victory. I think we deserved it from the beginning of the second half. I really, truly did. And I'm happy that we got the win. Now let's go into that individual performance display. Overall, the Chicago Bulls played a much better game than we usually see. Defensively, offensively as well, we played well around Nikola Vucevic. In the end, there were some very good contributors in this game, and even those that didn't really stand out, I actually thought played decently. Again, there's not really too much to say in that retrospect, but we're going to move on and we're going to continue to, we're going to continue to hopefully see these positive signs from the Chicago Bulls, and let's hope that is the case going forward. First things first, Nikola Vucevic, 29 points, 2 assists, 9 rebounds. For Nikola Vucevic, again, just an absolute hell of a game. He was on all night tonight. I think he was the key to the victory for the Chicago Bulls. Perimeter shots going in. Post hooks going in. Fadeaways going in. Pick and pops from the mid-range going in. Every single shot you could possibly imagine from Nikola Vucevic was a shot that went in for him today. 29 points and 2 assists, 9 rebounds. Beautiful performance. In the end, he also had some decent defensive displays as well. Again, Tristan Thompson is not known as an offensive-minded center, so I think it was a little bit easier for him, in my opinion, to play defense in today's game. And it also helped that Boston looked out of sorts in all shapes and sizes today. They did not look like the Boston Celtics team that you'd expect to see on a consistent basis. That did not look like a Boston Celtics team that was on a 6-game win streak. And for the most part, with those players out, it wasn't that team. But I think Nikola Vucevic took advantage of that, and I think he had a very good game within this space, and that is good to see as well. Again, he's carrying the load for the Chicago Bulls, and without him, we would be in very dire situations because we needed a scorer. In the end, in that first half, I was thinking to myself, we really missed Zach LaVine because we didn't have too much scoring. It was our bench versus their bench, and for a good 4 minutes, no one scored in that game. That was the situation where I thought to myself, I really do miss Zach LaVine because he's a scorer. He's a bona fide scorer. He's an elite scorer. He would have helped us tremendously in this game. But in the end, that's something that thankfully came to pass, and we did pick up a victory in the game. Daniel Theis, 6 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. I'm very happy for Daniel Theis. In the end, this is his return game. He goes to Boston and he beats the Boston Celtics. That is a very good performance from Daniel Theis. All-around performance. Again, he's one of those players where stats won't determine, or stats don't really show the impact he has on the game. But again, the stats for him are very nice. 4 assists for a center is very good for any center, in my opinion. 6 points. Again, he took the shots that were open. 6 rebounds. Defensively, he was good. A very solid performance, again, in my opinion, from Daniel Theis, and again, hopefully he can be more impactful in upcoming games. I think he's very vital in the starting lineup now. We're starting to see the starting lineup work a little bit more than what the starting lineup was with Zach LaVine in there, and of course without maybe Kobe White moving to the bench, and obviously Garrett Temple now they're starting. The starting lineup, it seems to gelling and it seems to work. So while it's still here, while Zach LaVine is still out, this starting lineup has produced, and let's hope it continues to produce going forward. Patrick Williams, 6 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. Again, I was thinking to myself, Patrick Williams was not aggressive enough today, just because I know, again, it's the potential, it's the talent, and it's the expectation in many ways that we can see from Patrick Williams going forward. But he did make a very vital shot in the fourth quarter. Again, if you're not scoring that much for Patrick Williams, the least you could do is when your name is called upon, especially in a dire situation, especially in the fourth quarter, take the shot. Take a good shot, drive it into the lane, and he did make a very good layup within the dying stretches of the game in the fourth quarter. That definitely helped us seal the victory. So I can't complain about that, but overall, 3 assists is pretty good for Patrick Williams. Obviously, 6 rebounds is expected from him at this stage. But for Patrick Williams, it's the aggression. And we see it in spades, but we don't see it enough in my eyes. So again, it's one of those situations where I hope we can continue to see Patrick Williams grow and develop. We can continue to see him be more aggressive. And I really think we will get to see the best Patrick Williams. And I don't think it's too far away as well. We still have a long way to go. This guy is 19 still, I believe. So we have a long way to go with this young player. A young kid, man. He's a kid. And he's playing a man's game, and he's a kid. So it's going to take some time. And I truly believe we will see the best out of Patrick Williams. Again, keep his head up, play aggressive, and I think we'll see the best out of him. Garrett Temple, 13 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Garrett Temple, in my opinion, was definitely one of the key players in today's game. Made some vital shots in the corner, made some good defensive displays. Overall, again, his playmaking. Usually, at the beginning of the season, Garrett Temple was not considered a playmaker in my eyes. He was averaging maybe 1 or 2 assists. In the recent games, he's averaging around 4 or 5 assists per game. That's great to see with Garrett Temple in the lineup. And he's doing his part. He's playing his part. He's playing his role for the Chicago Bulls. And again, we all know him as a very good team player. I think everybody that you ask, what do you think about Garrett Temple? People say, great team player, one of the best teammates you could have on your team. And he's playing for our team. I think we've sorely missed him when he has been out. He played 31 minutes today, made some vital shots in the fourth, made some vital corner shots, and he facilitated, and he played defense. At the end of the day, what more can you ask for from a veteran player? It's as simple as that. A very good game from Garrett Temple, in my opinion. Coby White, 19 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. Now, overall, Coby White was vital towards this game. And again, when I watched Coby White, I thought he missed a lot of shots. But again, as a scorer, you make some, you miss some, you move on. The 7 assists, in my opinion, is where Coby White had a tremendous game. And the free throws is where I believe Coby White had a tremendous game. Coby White is a 91% free throw shooter. And he was the ones taking our clutch free throws in that game. And for a young player to ice the game at the free throw line, that is the tremendous sign of the confidence he has in himself. He didn't let the moment get to him. Boston were on us that entire fourth quarter. Every time we got further away, they fought back, and they fought back, and they fought back. And that's what good teams do at the end of the day. They make it competitive. And we had the composure, and Coby White had the composure to make those free throws in the dying stretches of the game. And again, there is no one, I believe, on this team I would want shooting our free throws more than Coby White. So there you go. But the playmaking is the side of the ball where I was very happy with Coby White. The 19 points is great. And again, in the starting lineup, he's shown that he's been very effective for the Bulls. And hopefully this is the way to go going forward. Maybe Coby White should be starting, because that seems to be where he plays his best basketball, in the starting lineup. But in my opinion, it's the playmaking. And I really think playing with Nikola Vucevic has made it 10 times easier for Coby White to find open players. In the end, of course, there were some few times where the Bulls turned it over. We still turned the ball over, I wouldn't say at a high rate, but definitely very similar to the Boston Celtics type of rate. I think we had maybe 11, 12 turnovers. I don't know. I'll check that after the video. But again, I really thought the playmaking side of Coby White's game is the one that really stood out. Larry Markkanen, 9 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. You might think to yourself that I'm about to go in on Larry Markkanen. The truth is, no, I'm not going in on Larry Markkanen. And do you want to know why? I've been calling for Larry Markkanen to be unpredictable in his shots. At the end of the day, he took a few shots, and that's pretty much the only negative I could give to him. He didn't take too many shots. But he got into the post twice today and made 2 very easy post hooks, something we don't see a lot from Larry Markkanen. There was another one that unfortunately the ball got turned over, but he was forcing his way into the paint today. He took a driving layup into the paint today as well, and he made a 3. He was diverse in his scoring today. So did he take not enough shots? I really think he didn't take enough shots. But the shots that he took and the way that he got his points is something I cannot complain about. All I've ever wanted from Larry Markkanen is to be unpredictable. I don't want him just to be a spot-up shooter, and I don't want him just to be a paint guy. I want him to be diverse. He has the offensive firepower, he has the talent, and he has the potential to do these things on a consistent basis. So the fact of the matter is, when he gets 2 post hooks, a driving layup, and a 3-pointer today, in the end, not enough shots being taken, but the shots that he's taking are the right shots, and they're diverse and they're unpredictable, making the defense for Boston extremely hard to know what's going to happen with Larry Market in every possession. And in the end, that helps the Bulls. That really does help the Bulls. Even in a less scoring game compared to his last game, being unpredictable helps the Chicago Bulls. And it really makes Boston struggle on the defensive end. So that's all I could really ask for. And again, I really thought he played well. Thaddeus Young, 13 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Thaddeus Young, again, another key component to the bench for the Chicago Bulls. Can't complain at all with his scoring. In the end, yeah, he played well. That's all I could really say on the situation. It's a Thaddeus Young type performance. The two rebounds is, in my opinion, poor for a player like Thaddeus Young. But the 3 assists, very good for him. Having his career season in assists, all I could really ask for. That's the box score. That's the only players I'm going to mention. Of course, there were more players in this game, like I guess you could say Troy Brown had 4 points. He made a good fadeaway in today's game. Obviously, you had Satoransky, 3 points and 4 assists. He was all right, not the best. And obviously, Denzel Valentine had 0 points and 1 assist. So, in my opinion, the must improve is going to go to Denzel Valentine. Now, I understand Denzel Valentine played 13 minutes today, but 13 minutes and no field goal, in my opinion, is really unacceptable. And again, it's not a situation of it's a very bad performance from Denzel Valentine, but you need to score when you're on the court. It's as simple as that. Like it really felt like when Denzel Valentine was in, that bench really struggled. And again, it's a one-off type of situation. Denzel Valentine is usually the scoring punch for this team. When he comes on, he provides scoring. That's his role. That's what he does. Today was just a different game for Denzel Valentine. His shots weren't falling. He didn't really have too many opportunities. And every time he came in, not too long after, he came out. So it was a struggle for Denzel Valentine. But in the end, if Larry Market is getting criticized a few games ago from not getting a field goal for the Chicago Bulls, if you're playing for this team and you're having more than 10 minutes and you don't get a field goal, in my opinion, you also need to be one that needs to improve and step it up in the next game. The player of the game, very simple, very easy, Nikola Vucevic. We played our game all the way around him and he was simply on fire. And in my opinion, without him, we would have been blown out today. And I don't think Boston still would have scored over 100. So again, without Nikola Vucevic, I really think we would have got like around 80 points. So he played very good basketball today, and that's all you could really ask for. He's an all-star, and he's playing at an all-star level, and I really think he's starting to gel with this team a lot more. And not only that, I really do think the Bulls are learning how to play with him more. At the end of the day, it's going to take a very long time, and I mean a very long time, to see the absolute best from the Chicago Bulls, and we're going to be very inconsistent. When we lose, a lot of people, maybe including myself, will say that we simply don't know how to play with a player like Nikola Vucevic yet, or that we're struggling, we're not consistent, all these things. And all those things could be true at the time. So in the end, we found Nikola Vucevic and he played well today, and I think the Bulls getting him the ball was a very key part of the game as well. A lot of our entrances into the post was very good for the Chicago Bulls in today's game. There were very few turnovers where you threw it into the post and the ball was turned over. Obviously the Larry Marketing one, I can't really remember too many others where the ball was put into the post and we turned it over. So again, a very simple, very easy game sometimes offensively for the Bulls, and we delivered a victory. In the end, not the offense, the defense really stepped up to the occasion, and that was what got us the victory. The Bulls' record is 24-33. Again, solid night for the Chicago Bulls. Vital victory. Probably the best team that we have beaten all season. And hopefully we could continue the momentum. Again, not many people came into this game expecting us to win, especially with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum playing. I think when that news came in, a lot of Bulls players, fans were upset. But again, thankfully the Bulls, I asked for the Bulls to play like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were playing, even if they're not. You need to come in expecting that they're going to play their best team and live up to that level of their game. In the end, that's exactly what we did. So again, I'm very happy with that performance, and I'm very happy with the Chicago Bulls' attitude coming into this game. They didn't quiver in fear of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And again, both of those players had terrific games. Jason Tatum, first ever triple-double against the Chicago Bulls. That's going to be a game for him to remember. Obviously, Jaylen Brown, terrific game, scoring-wise, defensively. They were both really good, but the Chicago Bulls were not fearful of the Boston Celtics, and we outworked the Boston Celtics. And in the end, that's how we got our victory. The next game is against the Cleveland Cavaliers, another vital game for the Chicago Bulls. Last time we versed the Cleveland Cavaliers was only 2 games ago, and we beat them by 10. In the end, we've had a bad game against Cleveland, and we've had a semi-good game against Cleveland. So in the end, this game means a lot for the Chicago Bulls, and hopefully we can find a way to pick up an important victory for the Chicago Bulls in all ways. This is an important game for the Chicago Bulls. We now sit 10th once again in the East. Again, it's going to keep on going. It's going to keep on. We're going to be in, we're going to be out. We're going to be in, we're going to be out, because other teams will win games and other teams will lose games. So at the end of the day, we need to just keep in this fight. This should be our spot. I really believe that. I think we are better than the Washington Wizards. I think we're better than the Toronto Raptors. But in the end, it's up to the Bulls to show that. Of course, I'm going to say the Bulls are better because I believe in my team. But we need to show it. Every single possession, every single game, every single night, every single piece of effort needs to be for this play-in tournament, needs to be for this 10th seed, needs to be for our season. And I really feel like we are playing that way. And hopefully we can continue to play that way against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I think will bring the fight after losing to us in our last game. So let's just see exactly what will happen. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful and safe day. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care, and peace.